Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh. So for today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I wanted to talk to you guys about 5 different places guys touch girls when they like them. This has been a question that I've been seeing recently on the comments of the videos and also on my Instagram DMs. So I just thought that today I would answer it for you guys and give you some of those different places a guy might touch you if he does have feelings for you. The things that I came up with, I'm sure at least like one of them is gonna happen to you at some point. So I hope that this video is able to help you guys out and I hope that you enjoy it. So with that being said, here are 5 different places a guy will touch you if he likes you. So the first place that I think a guy will touch you, and I think that this has a lot of meaning behind it because your face is one of those places where you don't let everybody touch it. And so if a guy all of a sudden is sitting next to you and he starts to grab your cheeks, or you notice that he's like leaning into you, because your face is like such an intimate place and like a place that not everybody gets to touch, I think if a guy is going in for that or have like any kind of physical contact with your face, that definitely means something. So next time you're hanging out with a guy that you really like, if you notice that he is going in for those like little tiny things like trying to touch your face or touch your cheeks, I think that it's something to pay attention to because he might have some kind of underlying message that you might not be catching. So the second place that a guy might touch you if he really likes you is on your hands. Because realistically, like when you meet somebody, like you could either give them a high five or a handshake. But I think that when it comes down to like somebody that you really have a crush on and you're trying to figure out if they do have feelings for you, if you notice that you're sitting next to him and he like slides his hand over and touches yours, or tries to like put himself in a situation where like his hands are just gently like brushing against yours or doing something really small like that, or maybe you notice that like when you go to give him a high five, like instead of actually giving you a high five, he like grabs onto your hand and like holds it. There's definitely a lot of little signs that you can look for, but I would just say it's like the more uncommon things that you don't really think of. Like next time you go to give him a high five, if it's not the same as how you give everybody else a high five, or if you're sitting right next to him and you notice that he's trying to touch your hand, those are huge indications that he does like you, and so you need to pay attention to those. Alright, so moving on to the third one, I think that because a girl's legs are a huge turn on for a guy, one of the places that you're gonna notice that he's gonna try to touch are your legs. I think the message there is like pretty clear. Like when you're sitting next to somebody and you notice that like all of a sudden they say something or you say something or you guys are laughing and all of a sudden you notice his hand kind of scoots over and touches your leg. He does it like in a really friendly way. Everybody has like a personal space. Next time you're talking to a guy, you're gonna notice that like he might be trying to test how close he can actually get to you. And so one of the places that he is gonna go for if he does really like you, it might be your legs. I think that it just definitely shows that like he's trying to get past that touch barrier and he's trying to figure out like what kind of feelings you have for him. So I think that your legs are like definitely more of an intimate place to be touched, but yeah, that's the third one. Alright, so the fourth one that I came up with, and I think that this one actually happens a lot more often than we think, and that is when a guy is touching your hair. Now, I know like a lot of girls don't like their hair to be touched, especially if you guys go and get it done or you just did it or something like that, but I think that when a guy is trying to touch your hair, like that really shows that he's trying to be flirty. And I think that when you are like sitting there and all of a sudden you notice that like maybe there's a guy behind you in your class, he's like grabbing your hair or like playing with it, just like doing it maybe to annoy you, I think that it just shows like he's trying to touch you, but he doesn't really want to touch your body. So he's starting off by touching your hair. It's one thing to do it like every once in a while, but I think as soon as you start to notice that like he's doing it every day, these are definitely things to pick up on. So if you notice that a guy is doing that, then it definitely means that like he most likely has some kind of feelings for you. Alright, and the last one is one that you really have to pay attention to because it does have 2 different meanings, and that is when a guy is touching your back. I think that on your back, like if a guy is touching your upper back, it definitely means that he's there to like support you and he's there to like help you, and if you need anything, like he's the person to be there for you. And I think that it's more of like a friendly thing to do, but I think that when a guy touches your lower back, I would say your lower back is somewhere that like when somebody touches it, you kind of notice it. And it's more of like touching your hips too. So if you notice that a guy is touching your waist or he's touching your lower back, I would just say that like he adores you. And I think that like grabbing somebody by the waist is a really good way to like pull them closer to you and like hold them closer. And so like your lower back is just a sensitive place that I think guys will try to touch you if they do really like you. So also with that one, try to notice like how often he's doing it, because if it is all the time and you notice that he's never touching your upper back, he's only grabbing you by your lower back, then I would say that there's probably a good chance that he really likes you. So out of all these that I talked about, I would love to know which ones have actually happened to you guys. So go down in the comments and let me know which one has actually happened to you. And if you do have any other questions, I would love to answer them. Just make sure that you leave them down below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I hope that it was able to help you out. So I love you guys so much, and as always, I will see you next Saturday and next week. Bye!